Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Tanie Codes. In this tutorial, we're going to be talking about while loops. So it's going to be while loops part 3. And I'm so excited to do this video with you guys, and I hope you like it too. Before I start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment in the comment section, and also share this video to anyone who you think might be interested in learning C++. And let's get right into it. So, like I mentioned before, in this tutorial we're going to be continuing on while loops. So this is the last video I'll be doing about while loops, and we're gonna continue to other forms. Is it forms or other parts of loops, which is do while loops and for loops. So we're ending the tutorial of while loops with this video, and I hope you've understand so far what we've done. And for today's tutorial, I chose a pretty much interesting task to do for you guys, so that you understand what while loops are. So what we will be doing today is we're going to be reversing a number. So a user is going to enter their number of choice, any number, and then we're going to try and reverse it. So for example, if it's 456, we're gonna change it into 654. So that's basically what we're going to be doing today. So I'm just gonna jump into it, and then we're gonna create our project file. So we're gonna just start with our code now. So I think you guys are pretty familiar with what you do first. So first we need to ask the user to enter the number that they wish to reverse. So we're going to say cout. Okay, so I have to change my keyboard into yes. Okay, so we want to say please enter. I don't know if you guys have realized, but most of my videos I literally have spelling errors on most of my videos. I'm really bad at spelling, guys. I'm really bad at spelling, but I try by all means to try and spell words correctly. So sometimes I've noticed that I spell enter wrong, and I do apologize for that, and I try to fix it. So I hope this enter is correct. So it says please enter a number, and then we're going to use our cin, and we're going to say number, assuming that's going to be my variable name. So I need to start by declaring an integer variable, because we want the user to declaring an integer variable, which we're going to call number. Okay, I want to call it user number. So we've declared a variable for the user number, and then we've asked the user to enter their number of choice, and then we've used our cin command to store that number. So obviously I have to change here so that it matches. Yeah. Okay, now we're done with the simple step, and then now we have to go into the more complex step, where we need to try and figure out how are we going to reverse the number that the user has entered. So I have a few ways that we can do it, but I'm going to try and choose the simplest way that we can do it. So firstly, with the simplest way, you'll need to have at least 2 variables. So all in all, in our program, we're going to have 3 variables, which is our user number, and then also our reversed number. So our reversed number, so it's going to be a container or a variable that's going to store the number that's actually reversed. And we also have sort of like a number that we're going to help us work around in order to change the number into a reverse number. So I'm just gonna call it last number. last number. Okay, like I said, we need 3 variables for this project. We're gonna have our user number, our last number, and also our reverse number. So after this step, then that's where we're going to start with our while loop. So I'm going to type in while in small letters, so it's going to be while. And if you haven't seen any video of me doing while loops or have given you a tutorial on while loops, then you have to check out my first 2 videos which I talk about while loops, which is while loops part 1 and also part 2, and you can come back and look at the part 3. So it's while loop, and we're going to put in our condition. So we want our program to iterate or to run while this condition that I'm about to put inside the open brackets is true. So basically we want our project to run whilst the number that the user has entered is above 0. So we're going to say greater than. So if we want to say if the user number is greater than, so this is going to be our condition. So our while loop is going to run as long as this condition is true. So we could say, because our while loop, I think our program is going to still run even if the number is less than 0, but it won't run if the number is 0. So we could say maybe while the user number is not equal to 0, but I prefer putting it like this so that you have a better understanding. So I'm going to leave it as while user number is greater than 0. So it's while user number is greater than 0, I want this block of code to run. So I'm going to put the block of code to run here. So the algorithm that we're going to be using to try and reverse the number. Firstly, we're going to try and take the reverse number. So firstly, we need to take the variable, our variable, which is our reverse number variable, and we're going to multiply it by 0. We're doing this so that if the number, for example, it's 10, we're going to multiply it by 0 and we're going to get like 100, so that we are able to add a number. But it's going to make sense while we do it. So for now, we need to know that we need to first multiply the reverse variable by 0, by 10 I mean. And after that, we need to take the number that the user has entered and modulate it by 10. We're doing this because we want to have the last number of the user number. So for example, if the user number is 45 and we modulate 45 by 10, we're going to get 5. So now we have the last number of the user number. So we have that 5 that we need. And then the third step is we're going to take that reverse number and we're going to add the last number to it. So if, for example, our reverse number is 100 and we add that 5, which is our last number, now it's going to be 105. And then after that, we're going to take the number that the user has entered, our user number variable, and we're going to divide it by 10 so that we remove the last number of the user number. So like I did in my previous tutorial when I wanted to count how many digits are there in a number, and I used the method of dividing the number by 10 so that the number has a decimal number, and then we remove the decimal number since we're using integer as our data type. So automatically it's going to cancel the last number because it's going to be in a decimal form. So that's 4 steps. Number 4, we take the reverse number, we multiply it by 10. Number 2, we take the last number, we modulate it by 10. And then number 3, we take the reverse number and the last number, and then we add it to the last number. And number 4, we take the user number, we divide it by 10 so that we remove the last number of the user number. So like I said, right now it might not make sense, but as I type in and then you see how I'm going to do it. So like I said, I need to have 3 variables. So far I have my user number variable. So I need to have my last number variable. So I'm going to say int last number. So I'm going to just say L number. So you want to know, guys, that L number stands for last number. Also going to have our reversed number, so it's going to be int and then r number, and we're going to assign our reversed number to 0, and then our last number, we're not going to give it anything because we're yet to receive the actual number from the user. But you know that for now our reversed number is equal to 0, so there's no space here. Okay, so this is how it is for the first time, and then now let's get into business. I said the first part of this code is to multiply the reverse number by 10, then store that number into our reverse number variable. So I'm gonna say r number is equal to r number multiply by 10, right? And our second part is we want to get the last number, so we're gonna say L number L number is equals to the number that the user has entered. So it's going to be our user number modulated by 10, right? Then you want to say r number is equal to r number plus user number, right? And our last part of the program is we want to delete the last number of the user number. So we want to say user number is equals to user number divided by 10, right? And after that, that's where we're going to output to the user their reversed number. So at this point, our reversed number will be stored in our reversed number variable. That's why we need an extra variable, our reversed number variable, so that we store the current reversed number. So we're gonna say how do you write reversed? Your reversed number is, and then you wanna call the r number variable r number and line. I think that's about it. So let's run a project and see how it works. It says please enter a number, so I'm gonna say 453, and it says the reverse number is 354. So this shows that our program is working great. So yeah, that's what today's tutorial was all about. Let me try and explain again the process. So let's run our project again, and let's say I enter 456, okay, and it says the reverse is 654. So let me try and explain. Let me just put that over there. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a blank page. I'm just gonna write down what I explain, because that's how I work. I write down things to put them in my mind. So it's 453, right? It's 456, right? So firstly, it's gonna come here and it's gonna check is our condition true, is the number that the user entered 456, is it greater than 0? And yes, it is greater than 0. Then it's gonna come over here. Oopsie. It's gonna come here and it's gonna say reverse number times reverse number is equal to reverse number times 0, because currently our reverse number is equal to 0. So it's going to say reverse number times 0 and stores it into the reverse number variable, which is equal to 0. And it's going to come here and it's going to say last number is equal to user number modulated by 10. So it's going to take the user number that the user has entered, is going to modulate it by 10. So if it takes 456 and modulate by 10 is equal to 6. So 456 divided by 10, the remainder is 10, right? It's 6, right? It's gonna come here, it's gonna say reverse number, that's 0, right? And it's gonna add it to the last number which you got. So it's going to say 0 plus 6, right? And then after that, it's going to write that 6. So it's going to save that 6 or store that 6 into our reversed variable. So now our reversed variable is holding a number 6, because 0 plus 6 is equal to 6, right? And then we're going to come to the last part of our code, which is user number divide by 10. So this part is just to try and remove this 6, because we've already dealt with it, and just remain with 45, right? So we're gonna say 456 divided by 10 is equal to 45.6, right? And then because we're using integers or data type, it's going to just store 45. It will just ignore that 6. So now we're left with 45. But if we had float as our data type, then it was gonna affect our program, because now it's going to mind that 0.6, which is what we don't want. That's why I use data type integer specifically, so that it ignores that point number. Now we're left with 45 as the user number, right? We go back. Is the user number greater than 0? Yes, 45 is greater than 0. It's going to repeat the steps again. It's going to say reverse number, because now our reverse number is 10, right? It's going to say 6 times 10, and now our reverse number is equal to 60. Our reverse number is storing the number 60, and then it's going to say last number, which is our 45, modulated by 10, which is now 5. So 45 modulated by 10 is equal to 5, right? And then after that, it's going to say reverse number is equal to reverse number plus 5. So now we're adding that 60, which we got from 6 times 10, which is what our reverse variable was holding, and we add it with that 5 that we got from our last number. Now we have 65, right? And then after that, we're going to say the user a number that's left, which is 45 modulated by 10. Now the answer is 45 modulated by 10, which is 4. So now we're left with 4 as our user number, because 5 divided by 10 is equal to 4.5, and then the computer will not take the decimal point, because we're using integers or data type. So now we're only left with 4 now. So we've managed to remove 5 and 6, we're left with 4. It's gonna come back here and then check, is the 4 greater than 0? Is the 4 greater than 0? Yes, it is greater than 0. Then it's gonna go through the process again. So it's gonna say reverse number is equal to reverse number times 10. So in our reverse number, so far we have 65, right? So it's going to say 65 times 10, which is going to be 650, and it's going to say last number, which is 4, and then it's going to say it's equals to user number divided by 10. So our user number at this point is 4, right? And it's going to say 4 plus 650, which is our current reversed number, right? So 650 plus 4, our last number is going to be 654, right? And then it's going to say user number modulated by 10, which is going to be 0.00 something. So now we are left with 0 as our user number, and when it comes here it's going to check is user number greater than 0. No, 0 is not greater than 0. Then our loop is going to break and then it's done. Then we get our reverse number. I hope I explained this properly, and if you think I didn't explain it correctly, please feel free to comment in the comment section and explain to me what you did not understand, and I'll try to explain to you once more. And that is all for our program today. If you have seen value in this video, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment in the comment section, and also share this video to anyone who you think might be interested in learning C++. Thank you for watching.